Hey everyone, this is Matt Brown and this is my Module 12 case study. So the facts of this case, Mr. Santos, who is the principal at Briardale Elementary School, which is at the center of a very large, diverse community. The school enrolls about 600 students, grades K through 5. Mr. Santos worked with a parent new to the community that was chosen to lead Briardale Foundation as the president, and his name was Mr. Barley, who is a Harvard graduate. And Mr. Barley was classmates with another man, Mr. Morley, who was also at Harvard with him and was voted as class president ahead of him and defeated Mr. Barley in college. And Mr. Morley was serving in the same position but at a different elementary school in the district. So Mr. Santos spent a lot of time with Mr. Barley, kind of going over his responsibilities, the role he would be playing as president of the foundation. And as president, his responsibility also to meet with the school site council curriculum committee for ideas and strategies that he may have to for supplement curriculum programs, which is the biggest reason they have this foundation is to for supplemental curriculum, just for basic skills. Mr. Barley, in an attempt to maybe outdo or one up Mr. Morley, came up with a unique idea he had. He gained from college in Harvard that was very successful for him. The most money, and they wanted to raise the most money they've ever raised at a fundraiser before. So he established a raffle for cash fundraiser, took the idea to the foundation members and the parents, and it was approved by them. And so they went ahead and had the raffle. The night of the raffle, all the tickets were sold. Things were going off without a hitch. Mr. Santos and the community gathered together for it. And then all of a sudden the local sheriff arrived and placed Mr. Barley under arrest. And because somebody from the community had tipped off to the local sheriff that a raffle for cash fundraiser was being conducted at the elementary school. And so Mr. Barley was convicted of a misdemeanor and was placed under probation. And because of this, a permanent stain was made on the elementary school and a lot of embarrassment was placed upon the administration of that school. So as we look through legal and ethical issues of this case study, in terms of legal issues, it's illegal in the state of Kansas, even though they didn't specify what state this happened in. I just looked up Kansas for this. You cannot have a cash for raffle event without applying and being approved for a raffle license. Each nonprofit organization must apply for and receive a charitable raffle license at least 30 days prior to selling the raffle tickets, and the raffle license may not be transferred to another nonprofit group according to Kansas Department of Revenue. And the foundation of the school members seemed to be a little uneducated in the legal issues with Mr. Barley's strategies. Some ethical issues that I found in this case is I felt like there was a competition between Mr. Barley and Mr. Morley just to see who could raise more money. It seems to me like they were putting themselves first rather than their own schools that they were a part of ahead of everything. It was about them. So they were kind of putting their ego ahead of the actual school and what the whole principle of the foundation was supposed to be set on. The principal and the superintendent didn't necessarily seem to be informed about this fundraising strategy. Mr. Santos should have definitely been more involved with the fundraising planning. And all stakeholders of the school were affected by this decision and the outcome of it. Just based on the information, I didn't see any breach of contract, just given the information that we had. To synthesize all this information together, Mr. Barley conducted a raffle for cash fundraiser at Briardale Elementary School to fund supplementary curriculum programs and was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor after an anonymous community member tipped off the local sheriff over what was being conducted at the school. So the people, places in the program, the people involved in this, Mr. Santos, who is the principal at Briardale Elementary, Mr. Barley, new foundation president, arrested for a cash for raffle fundraiser. Mr. Morley, who is the president at a different elementary school, held the same position as Mr. Barley, just at a different place. The local sheriff who arrested Mr. Barley, and then the foundation members who approved of Mr. Barley's plan. The place, it occurred at Briardale Elementary School, again, a center of a very diverse city. large elementary school serves 600 kids in the grades kindergarten through 5th. The program holding a fundraiser at the school of to fund supplementary curricular programs, and it focuses on the basic skills and educational instruction objectives are based upon student performance. So all the money that they raise through this foundation goes towards supplementary curriculum programs. So in order to review and prioritize our information, looking through here, could the conflict, the situation, the decision be damaging to stakeholders or to the community? It absolutely affects everybody involved. It directly affects all stakeholders of the school. The arrest puts a very negative image on the school, especially the foundation, which affects administration, educators, students, parents, and all the foundation members. It affects everybody, all stakeholders of the school district. And so, which groups have an important stake in the outcome? The foundation members and the school administration have an absolutely important stake in the outcome, because what happens, they're the first ones to feel the effect of whatever the outcome would be. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? I would say not, based on the information that was given, because no stakeholders were consulted other than the foundation members. According to the information, it seemed like the principal and the superintendent were kind of left out of it, didn't seem to have a lot of knowledge of what was going on. So what can I learn more about the situation? I'd like to know maybe what state this occurred in, just for the legal issues of the raffle, their raffle policies. What are the policies of Briardale Elementary in terms of fundraising? Does language need to be added to the policy? Should the principal have been more involved in the decision-making process? And are foundation members aware of state laws in regards to fundraising? So do I know enough to make a decision? And just kind of based off of what has been presented, I do believe a decision can be made. So we look at a few different options. Option one, we could just do nothing, let everything play out. Eventually the dust will settle, things will get back to normal. Don't make any changes to the policy, just kind of remember what happened, and just use this as a learning opportunity. Some things I could see happening in terms of backlash from that is just backlash from the community for not doing anything. People love to see somebody reprimanded for a crime committed. No change in the policy leaves a threat that something similar to this could occur again in the future. As I look at option number 2, I can make sure the policy has language about needing the involvement of the principal and the superintendent of the school. Make sure people in the foundation are educated in the school laws concerning fundraising, which would be conducted by the principal, and make sure the principal is a part of that fundraising process or the decisions they have to make. Dismiss Mr. Barley from his position and bring in a new president, work closely with them. Some blowback to this option is I feel like credibility has already been damaged. There's definitely going to be a stain on this foundation and the school from this pretty ugly situation. I feel like trust has been broken, not just between administration and the foundation, but community members. And then option 3, just completely dissolve and dismiss the Briardale Elementary Foundation and just begin relying on local and state funding like most schools do. But I can see this causing a huge effect in the community, because they seem like they take a lot of pride in being able to help the school. But there'd also be no extra funds for supplementary curriculum. So as I go through and evaluate these options, options 1, the pros, there's not much follow-up, there's not much work to do, we just let it play out. Administration would be hands-off, continue to be hands-off, and then fundraising could continue through the foundation, which means we continue to have supplementary curriculum. The cons, I feel like trust may already be broken. No one may want to take that over anymore after that incident, and community members may be upset that no action was actually taken by the administration. Option 2, pretty well-rounded policy will be created, gives the foundation a chance to kind of redeem itself and rebuild, become more educated. Funding for supplementary curriculum can continue, gives the principal more responsibility and more, I guess, presence in the decision making. And the cons, may not find anyone to take over the foundation. It's going to require a lot more work from administration perspective. Again, going to have to rebuild the trust, and there's just a stain on that foundation and administration. Option 3, no policy update required. Administration would be completely in charge of the fundraising, and looks like more of a proactive move by the school. The cons, firing somebody is never easy on any of the stakeholders. People would be reluctant to take the position. No extra funds for the curriculum would be there, and this may upset some people in the community. So after looking through those options, I feel like option 2 is my best choice. Relieving Mr. Barley, I can find a new candidate, take over as president, and I have shown that I have care about the foundation and what they do for the school. By taking more of an interest in their business and what they're doing, I can help assure that they are following school policies, and that I'm more involved in that process, and they're more aware of what type of fundraising they're conducting. Providing the foundation members with education over the state laws of this fundraising helps spread awareness and just education, what's legal, what's not, and what's ethical. Although credibility has been stained, this option can begin a type of healing process that help rebuild the trust between all stakeholders, foundation, community, administration, and all of them. And adding language to the policy over the fundraising can only benefit. There's no downfall to adding more and maybe more effective language in the policy to protect the school from incidents like this. And the plan of action promotes the well-being of every single stakeholder involved in the school. So in terms of how to implement this plan, contact the superintendent and his school lawyers to decide what the next step we should take is. And then I'd assume that'd be review school board policies, look for policies on our fundraising, if there needs to be something added to it to strengthen that policy about principal being involved in a foundation. We would need to add or correct that, and then take that to the superintendent or the board, and then the Board of Education for approval. And then I would need to meet with Mr. Barley, relieve him of his duty, begin a search for a new foundation president and potentially new foundation members if some of those other members also quit from this. Implement a policy and just make sure that I'm the one to relay the policies to the future foundation presidents and members, and just become much more hands-on with that process. And then I'd have to work closely with these members pertaining to the laws of fundraising within a school district. Here are my program standard integration and my references. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed this class. Good luck to you guys for the rest of the program.